Hey guys, welcome back. My buddy came down this morning. We threw the trunk lid on the 64. Normally I'll do it myself with my cherry picker, and I have a tool that puts it on and off, but I have so many cars and parts everywhere, it would have took me longer to get that out and set up than just to have him run down here and help me put it on. So we threw it on real quick this morning. We got it lined up. Now I want to work on the moldings around the trunk lid and put the tail lights in. I want to get that done on this video, and then on the next I'll probably do the passenger side trim off video. It's going to be the identical to the driver's side. I still have not tightened up the front of that molding yet because I got to take the back seats out, but I will get to that. I'm just trying to get as much on this car. Still waiting on the front end bolt kit, door handles, and a few other things so that we can get this car wrapped up and out of here. So in the meantime, I want to keep moving on, trying to get this thing closer and closer to leaving. I need to paint this back part of this frame. I'm going to probably just hit it with my sander and spray it real quick with some Rust-Oleum or something. It's not too bad. Actually, underneath the car is not too bad at all. It's a little cleaner than I thought. Okay, so this is the original molding that was on the car, but it had a big dent in the back. So I have a new one here. And yes, another repop. So what will happen? But here's the repop here. So we can start with that and see how that fits. See if it even has the correct bend. Oh, look, it came pre-dinged. Look at this. It's got a ding in it right here and here. Brand new, you just saw me take it out of the package. Both sides are all dinged up. Look at that. Well, I'm gonna have to just put it on for now. If he wants to change it, he can change it. Sucks, but yeah, it doesn't match the curve of the car that well, but it'll go on. But I'll have to let him know about that. I'll send him a picture real quick. So let me stop this video. I want to just make sure, but chances are we're probably just gonna be putting it on. That stuff is so thin, I'm really afraid to try to lightly tap it with a hammer. Might be able to massage it out with a piece of plastic. But you just saw me unwrap it. Just came out of the box like that. But here's the clips for it. I'm gonna get these opened up. I don't have my knife on me. I usually do. I don't know where that is. So let me grab a knife. I'm gonna take a couple pictures of that real quick. I wanna show it to him just to verify it, but I'm sure I'll probably just be putting it on. But I'll be back in a few. Okay, I haven't heard back from him. I'm just gonna put it on. It's not a huge deal if we gotta take it back off. It's literally like 5-7 fasteners. Before we go any farther, when I put these side lettering on the car, originally, the original letters used these Acorn speed nuts, okay? And these went on like this, and they went on nice. And what it does is if you're in the trunk or something like that, your arm doesn't rub against that stud and cut yourself. Now, these would not fit on the new letters. So I'm saving these. I always save stuff like this. If I get an aftermarket part that the original fasteners won't fit on, I just take all these things and I put them in a container. And I have various clips and fasteners and stuff from over the years that I always hang on to, because if you get that original car that has the original molding or lettering or anything like that and you're missing one, well, now you have it. Because I don't even know if you can buy these or not. You might be able to, you know, maybe not from like an Impala place, but maybe you can source it, you know, online or something like that, but I don't even know what size it is, so that would be kind of hard. So I always save stuff like this, and that I don't have to worry about if I have a car that I'm working on that I just need one or two, because, and this was missing one. So you need a total of 18 to do this side and that's for the letters and the emblem. And I only have 17 of them, so it was missing one to begin with on one of the emblems. But I'll save all the 17 of them. I'll put them here in a cup for now, and then I have a nut and bolt organizer in the back room, and I just put everything in trays and I save it all. Trust me, it's well worth doing that. You know, over time you end up with an abundance of extra fasteners and clips and stuff like that, but it's nice, especially when you need them in the future. So these are new clips that go on this new molding. I have the original clips here that came on, that was on this molding. I'm just gonna leave these on here. I might actually pop them off and save them. I'm not sure. I'll ask him if he wants this. I would imagine I would probably send that out and get it restored if you can. But I think if they were to restore this, I don't think they could take the letters off. Maybe they can, but you probably wouldn't end up with this satin finish in the middle because I don't know how they would do that. But that's beyond me. I don't really mess with that stuff. So let's slide these clips in there. Now that we have the original one, if you look closely at the original panel here, this is the top that had the big dent. And you can see these clips are offset. These studs are more towards the bottom. So you got to make sure when you put these clips in the new one that your studs are more towards the bottom. And I'm going to be using the original speed clips on these studs because they did not come with speed clips. And I almost wonder if somebody just stole them out of the package. I almost wonder if that molding was maybe returned because there was a few dings in it. And maybe they stole the speed nuts out of it. But anyways, we're gonna make sure that this stud is closer to the bottom of the molding than to the top of the molding. And what else is they didn't give me the two end pieces for the these clips. So I don't have the two ends that screws go into, so I'm gonna have to steal those out of the original one. Well, I guess I could just lightly set it in there. I don't really think it matters at this point. But, oh wait, maybe they did give them. Okay, they did give them to me. So these are the two ends right here. And you see how they're drilled on both sides? That's so that you can use that on either side of the molding. It doesn't matter. There's no right or left. The original ones have a right or left. They weren't pre-drilled on both sides. They were only pre-drilled one side. So they did this to make it easier for people in case they put it on the wrong side. These are the original screws that went into it, that thread into it. It's a machine screw. And these ones are about a 1/2 inch long. So you gotta make sure when you're putting these in that you have plenty of clearance between your clip and your molding, because if this screw were to be too long and you were to tighten it all the way in from the backside, you're gonna pucker out your molding right there, and then you're gonna see exactly where that screw is on the backside. So let's get these clips put on here. Let me do that off camera. I'll put these clips, slide them all onto the molding. Let me show you real quick. And you see all these little dents and shit? This is how a lot of this stuff comes. It's all effed up. But anyways, there is a slot on this side, and there's also a slot on that side. And that's where you put the clip into. You put the top in first, like this, and you drop the bottom in, and then you get to slide it over. So it makes it nice and easy to put these in. And then keep in mind that the bottom of your molding, the stud goes towards. So, all right, I'm gonna get this ready. I'm gonna get those sides in and stuff, and then we will get this bolted on. I gotta get whatever size socket I need for those speed nuts. Okay, let's get this put on. These speed nuts are 3/8. I only have about an hour today, so hopefully I get this back end done. I don't know that I will have enough time to. It's a little bit tricky doing it because the trunk lid wants to open on you. What I'm doing is I'm just sliding these into position as close as I can. See how it's overhanging. Slide it down a little bit more. put one on upside down. That's the whole problem. Did I? Yes, I did. Okay. Now, a lot of people don't show putting these moldings on because it is kind of time consuming and kind of a pain in the butt. But I like to try to show it because it lets people know that it's not just them that are having a difficult time doing it. I need a couple extensions here for my ratchet because it goes all the way through the trunk lid. I'm actually going to take it off of the ratchet right now so I can start it by hand. Now these are going to go on a little bit tougher because they're new, so they've not been threaded yet at all. And I'm just using my finger out here to line it up on the edge of the trunk lid. You don't want to go crazy over tightening them either, because once you strip it, then you're kind of screwed. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put the last couple fasteners in, no point in recording that, and then we'll have that piece installed. Okay, that is on. Now we're gonna move on to the trunk lid emblem. So let's see what kind of condition this is. I'm only seeing 2 speed nuts. Oh, there they are, there's 4, okay. This is wrapped up nicely, some tissue paper. The emblems usually aren't too bad for these cars, the aftermarkets. It's just all the other parts that suck. But maybe I should test it before I say something. So here's the back emblem. It's all right, it's not too bad. I think these are a smaller speed nut. The moldings on the trunk lid were 3/8. These ones, are they the same? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm doing the 2 outside ones first because you can see that this is pulled away from the metal a little bit. So I want to tighten that one next, and then I'll put the 2 center ones on, just to try to get it to draw back to the tight as I can to the trunk lid. Next will be the trunk lock. Okay, that went on without a hitch. That looks pretty good. Okay, so we need, we have the center molding that we have to put on, trunk lock, tail lights, and then we got to do the tail lights and corner trim on the quarter panels. So maybe we'll do that top trunk molding first. Let me go find that, which should be somewhere in this pile down here. So let me go look through that and find that piece, and we'll put that on next. Okay, I did not get a new center molding for the trunk, But I was able to get the overspray off from the last person who painted it and polish it up just by hand with some aluminum polish. And it turned out pretty good. And I'm not too worried about it being original piece because at least then I know it should fit better. So I just need to slide these studs into the right location, and we'll drop this on and we get this bolted on. Beautiful. Nice fit because it's original. Put the speed nuts on the back side of this. Same as everything else. There's little cutouts on the back side of the trunk lid so that you can get your socket in there to tighten them down. You can use a nut driver too if you want, if you're worried about tightening it too much with the socket. Okay, that's on. Now, I want to put the trunk lid on, the lock on. This has overspray from the last paint job. What I'm gonna do with this is I'm just gonna wire wheel this down on my bench grinder and just leave it silver. I'm not gonna mess with it. These usually don't rust too bad. I could always spray some clear over it afterwards. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll take a can of spray can of clear coat and I'll just spray it over. I'm only gonna wire wheel the top part. There's really no point in doing all this in here. I mean, I'm not building a $100,000 show car, so let me go clean the paint off of this. So I just have this little grinder set up in the corner. One side has a grinding wheel, the other side has a wire wheel. Wear your glasses because these things fling everywhere. This box out of the way. We're just gonna clean the paint off of here real good. You can see how it comes off nice and clean. So let me finish this up and then I'll come back. Okay, the latch is all cleaned up, looks nice. I'm gonna go do the bolt heads because they're kind of crappy looking. Okay, they're all cleaned up as well. So now we can stick this on and put the lock in. Actually, I think the lock goes on first. Second, okay. Now I could take some clear spray paint, clear, and just go over this with that. After it's already bolted on and adjusted and everything, I'll just hit it with a little bit of clear coat. If a little bit of clear gets underneath the trunk lid, it's not gonna hurt anything. Just gonna kind of put it in place to where I could see the old marks on the metal from where it was last time. Obviously, it's gonna need some adjustment. But I'm just gonna lightly tighten it down for now because chances are we're gonna be moving it around. Now you wanna try to use the original hardware when you can because these washers that are built onto the bolt have like serrated edges so that it grabs the metal so that once it's tightened down and you slam the trunk lid down, after 20, 30 times of shutting your trunk lid, the latch doesn't move on you because those little like serrated edge grabs into the metal and holds it in place. So like I said, I'm not going to go crazy tightening it. I just want it to be tight enough to test it and see if we're close. So now that's on. Here's the trunk lock. I already cleaned it up. And I need this part right here, which this looks kind of crappy. I think I'm going to wire wheel this and spray paint it black real quick, just so it doesn't look horrible. Okay, I ended up just using a gunmetal gray after I cleaned the rust off, so it's just about dry. But these are the original screws that held it in, and they look like real shit, and they're all rusty. So I actually have the same length and everything and thread size in a new stainless steel screw. So we're gonna put these ones in there just to make it look a little nicer. So basically how we have to put this on is you have to take your clip here and it goes this way. Okay, so that it arcs towards the front of the trunk lid. And what you have to do is put it in there partially, get your trunk lock, make sure you have it, obviously it only goes in one direction. These pegs are different sizes around the edge. So if we look at it, you can see it goes this way, just like this. So basically what you have to do is you have to slide this up there, slide the lock through the bracket and the trunk lid, and line your rod up into your latch system, just like that. And then you push this bracket up. And when you push the bracket up into place, it locks it into the trunk lid. Just like that. So now it's locked in. Now we just got to put these two stainless screws into the bottom. Okay. All right, so that's done. So now we just need, actually it should latch if I wanted to, but I have to run out for a while, so I'll have to finish this video later. But it's looking good. See it? This piece looks pretty good for being original and not really putting it on the polisher, buffing it out. I just did it by hand. So next here in a couple hours when I get back, we'll do the tail light lenses, or the tail light housings and lenses, all 6 of them, and we'll put on these quarter moldings, and then that'll be it for this video. So all right, I'll be back in a little while. All right guys, I'm back. It's later on in the day. It's actually nighttime. I want to get these tail light housings in, and the lenses on. So I don't know if these are all the same. I think so. It just says 64 full-size tail lamp base assembly. I believe they're all the same part number. Yes, they are. Yep, they look to all be the same. For some reason, somebody crossed out made in Taiwan on all of them. I don't know why that is. Maybe they came from somewhere else. I don't know. Let's see what they come with. Okay, cool. They come with the nuts and a new bracket. I have the original ones, which I'll save and put back in the box. But I don't know how much these cost. My guess is it's probably cheaper to buy this than to get those ones cleaned up. Or I'm not sure. I mean, the only thing I need to look up is what order they go in. Because I think there's a difference. Or is there not? Nope, they're all the same. They look to all be the same. I don't think I have the bezels though that go around the lens. Might have to reuse the original ones. So let's start with taking these nuts off. The first one here. And basically what you have to do is this goes on the top part like this. And then it clamps to the metal up here. And then the bottom stud goes through the hole and that just gets tightened. The nut gets tightened onto the body. Now these housings already have the rubber gasket on them. So these are already in place. Just want to make sure they're seated all the way in there. And then you can stick your first one in. Try to make sure which way they go. looks like the goes this way. That's the bottom, so it looks like it goes, looks like the fatter goes on the bottom, like that. Is that right? Or does it go this way? Nope, it goes this way. You can see how it fits in the whole of the body. It's the only way it will go and look right. I believe that's a 7/16 or a 1/2 inch nut. I think it's a 7/16. No, yep, 7/16. Okay. So now we can put this top bracket on. I'll put the light bulbs in after. I'm gonna put new light bulbs on there because the last paint job, somebody had gotten overspray on them, and then I got overspray on them because I just shoved them into the trunk lid. But I wasn't really concerned with it because the wiring harness and the light bulbs already had overspray all over them from the last paint job. Okay, you want to snug those down pretty good so that that rubber gasket really presses against that metal and it seals up. Okay, now that we have that one on, I'm not going to show all of them. Maybe these are the, okay, cool. These are the trim rings. We have new trim rings too, so I don't have to worry about taking the old ones off and cleaning them up. Like I said, I'm just going to take this whole housing here and put them in the box and save them for the guy. You know, in case he ever wants to use them, clean them up, whatever. These ones, unfortunately, on 2 of them, somebody had drilled those blue dots in there, and he obviously didn't want that. But I do need to look up which lens goes on here. I'm gonna have to look at a picture, because one of the 3 lenses have a white for backup light, and I don't remember which order they go in. But here's the new trim ring here, and it does not look like it comes with screws. So I'm gonna have to probably just clean up the old screws and reuse them. Now these trim rings should all be the same as well. But actually they look really nice. Really nice. Chrome on them's real nice. Okay. So let me look up on a picture, unless this tells me. It's not, probably not gonna tell me. It's just different part number for the, this is the clear one, clear center. So yeah, let me just look up a couple pictures online and see if I can determine which one uses the clear, because to be honest with you, I can always go back on my video too and look when I took those out, because I don't remember. Something's telling me it's the outside one, but like I said, I'm not positive, so let me look real quick. Okay, I looked at some pictures online. And it looks like the majority of them, this is the clear one, the outside one on the trunk lid, not the one on the body. So it goes red, white, red. I did see a couple pictures where they put it on the inside one here, but I don't know why. I mean, that could have just been somebody screwed up. But for the majority of what I saw, just looking briefly, it was on this one right here. So this one's just gonna get a red lens. And I'm just gonna show putting in one of these. Then I'll go and put the other ones in, and then we'll put these moldings on here, and then we'll end this video like that. And then I'll probably just throw the passenger side together. I do think I want to try these original clips for the side moldings. I have the original plastic clips that go in the quarter panel. I think I want to try these before I go ripping that seat out of the car, because if I can possibly get these to clip on, I'll just use these and say the heck with it, and not worry about taking a whole interior apart. But we'll see what happens. So the writing where it says guide and then the year and stuff goes on the bottom of the lens, and then this goes like that. and it should slide into this groove here, just like that. And then it goes in this way. And we got to put a gasket in here too, because if you don't put the gasket on there, anytime it rains, your lens is going to fill up with water. And also another good thing is on these moldings, I use the original hardware because it didn't come with new hardware. And the molding I used on the trunk lid itself didn't have hardware. I used the original hardware. And the original hardware still had the black rubbery stuff that you put on there. It's almost like a butyl tape. 3M makes it. I think it's called strip caulk. And if you put some on your nuts and then you put them in there, that's going to help from water getting through into the car. You know, I've seen it really packed on there to where you have a hard time getting the moldings off, where people will shove it all around the hole on the outside and then drop the molding into there, which isn't a bad idea. That's just to help keep water out of the car, you know, when you go to car washes or if you get stuck in the rain or anything like that. Okay, now these gaskets here, I don't know if they're all the same or not. They're kind of weird shaped, and I don't know why. I think that's just how they got packaged or whatever. But let's see if they should technically line up here. Man, these are some ill-fitting gaskets, I'll tell you that much. Not nice at all. Goes this way. So it just goes in there like that. And your best bet is to put the gasket in the housing first, because you're never going to be able to hold it in place to get this on. And then this slides on here, and then the screws go through, and that's what holds the lens on. Now, I'm going to see if I have some new stainless screws, rather than spending a bunch of time cleaning the ones that I have. And I'd like to just keep these all together. And these are more of a machine screw, so I don't know if I have any of those. I have machine screws, I just don't know if I have any out here. I think we're going to use the originals and just clean them up. Let me take one out here. Yeah, these look to be stainless. Let me just go run these on the wheel and see what they look like. They cleaned right up. I barely even had to do anything. So that's nice. We'll just use these. And I dropped it. You know what, it might be easier to, the holes are not popped in the gasket where the screws go through. There's a hole punched, but the plug is still in it. So you can see it right here. I popped it out with a screw. So I might just have to do it this way to make it a little bit easier. Just want to make sure that gasket seals all the way around it real good. If you're going to use a drill like I am, probably better off to use a hand screwdriver so you don't crack the lenses, but I'm not putting a lot of tension at all on this stuff. Just enough to get it to tighten. So there we go. So there's one. I got dust all over this. So I'm going to go ahead and put in, I'm just going to go ahead and put in the trunk lid ones, and then we'll come back and do this one and this trim molding here. So let me finish these other three and we'll be back. Okay, those are all on. Starting to look good. Now we need to do this outer trim corner here. Let's see what we can do with this. I have the new parts right here. Now, let's see what these look like. Left molding. These are so thin of a material. Don't yank the bags. You're just gonna bend them. I mean, they're like nothing. Now these should take the same speed nuts that the trunk lid used. You know what I don't understand is they give you no speed nuts and they short you 2 clips unless the bottom's different. What the heck? Trunk lid's a lot heavier now that it has all those housings in there. Yeah, there's supposed to be 3 clips. They give you 4. What are you supposed to do with 4? Actually, I have 3. No way. They gave me 3 clips. Oh, is it? They only gave me 1 bag of clips for one side. Oh, okay, it's on this. Okay, they give you the 3 per side. Now, what I've noticed is the original texture here is definitely different than the new texture. It's a different color even. So let's say you needed a new one of these, just one new back corner. The likelihood, you know, of just buying a new reproduction corner, it's not going to match the rest of your molding. So either A, you find another original one, or B, you replace all 3 on the back. You know, depending on how picky you want to be with it. I just opened up the wrong side. And they don't give you speed nuts, so you gotta use your original ones. If you don't have them, you could buy speed nuts at the parts store. They do sell them. I have a whole drawer of them that I've just extras and ones I bought over the years. I just save them all. So then this goes like this, right on here. So now we gotta put these clips on here. The bottom clip is obviously not as wide as the other clips. Now I just gotta see which direction it goes. So this is the driver's side. So it looks like this little prong thingy goes to the outside of the trim, like this, slides in. That's cute. Swear to God, these things fit like junk. Okay. Did I push this down too far? Trying to line it up with what the original one looks like. I'll put the corner one on first, right here. Can't tighten that one all the way first. It wants to draw the molding weird. So I think I'm gonna have to start with this one. It's on there, it's just not tight all the way. Luckily, for the most part, this car had all the hardware on all these parts, which is nice, makes it a lot easier for me than sifting through a drawer of speed nuts, trying to get the right size, even though they might be the right size. On the outside doesn't mean the inside holds the same on these speed nuts. Okay, that's on. Now I have noticed from the original here, I'll show you this aftermarket. Okay, from the original to the aftermarket, they're pretty close looking. They're bent pretty good. This part here, this ear on the original one is shallower than this aftermarket. This one flares down more. Same thing on the trunk lid. It's definitely fatter than the original one. So now let's go ahead and put on this last housing over here and tail light lens, and then I'll do the other side off camera. And then we got to shut the trunk lid and see how it lines up with the molding on the trunk lid, and see if and also latch it and see how high we are the trunk lid to the quarter panel, because I have not checked that yet. I have not latched the trunk. I want to double check, make sure that the key works in the cylinder before I go shutting the trunk, because I don't really feel like drilling out the cylinder because the key doesn't work. So I figure best to check it before I go slamming the trunk shut, and then all of a sudden the key doesn't work for some dumb reason. I know it worked because I have the key that I used originally. Hey, look, in one of the boxes had all the new screws. What the heck? Whatever. I'm not worrying about it. I cleaned all the original ones. These don't even look stainless. These ones, in my opinion, are probably going to rust. These just look like a general screw. The factory ones were definitely stainless, so we are using those. You would think they would just put 2 screws in every box, but they put all the packaging in one box. Must be a kit. I don't know, I didn't order them, but you must just order it all in a kit and then they just throw the screws in one of the boxes. But that's okay, I'd rather use the original ones anyways. I guess the more I look at this, because there's some overspray right here, looks like they just spray that on with like a silver paint. Okay, now that we have that on, we can get our lens on. And then I'll do the other side, and then I'll come back and we will shut the trunk lid for the first time after I check the key, and we will see how it lines up. I'm guessing it's going to be a little off because I didn't really spend any time adjusting it yet. I just kind of put it where I thought it went. If these aftermarket parts would fit like they're supposed to, it'd be pretty fun putting this car together with that. All new parts and stuff, but I'd rather have the original parts. You know, I've done a bunch of Mustangs in the past, 60s Mustangs, and those parts seem to fit a little better than these. I think they do. Upside down. The gaskets are definitely drilled off center and they only go on one way. Then you gotta spend a little time once you get them on the screws to make sure that they're even all the way around the lens. So when you tighten it up, it seals all the way around, because it can easily fold inside like that, and then you won't have a seal on the one edge. Okay, let me go do the other side, and then we'll shut the trunk lid for the first time. It looks like the flare's off a little bit this way. It doesn't line up with the body line perfectly. Yeah, this angle's cut more of an angle than the factory one. It's definitely leaning in a little bit more. Okay, let me go do the other side. Yes, it's called Lone Star Lowe's. He's a really cool guy. He messages me quite a bit. He really seems to know his Impalas. I think that's all he pretty much works on is Impalas. He does it at home. He builds his own cars. I think he has a couple buddies that build cars at his house with him. He does really nice work. I really like how he does everything. He's real meticulous about cleaning everything, polishing it, you know, trying to use original parts as much as possible. So if you guys haven't heard of his channel, go check it out on YouTube. Good guy. Like I said, I really think he does really good work, and he's messaged me about this car and how these moldings fit like shit, so I know it's not just me messing with them. And he did mention something about these. He's like, wait until you get around the back of the car and you see how these fit. I know what he's talking about. That's horrible, but it is what it is, guys. So that's going to end this video. I'm going to go ahead and get that other side done next day or two. And then after that, I'm waiting on the front end kit. I think I have the rear bumper. I got to look and see. There's some bumper parts in the car. I know that some of the bumper parts in the car, I believe, are the parts for the 59 bumper, the rear bumper or something. They're wrapped up in the back seat. I honestly have not even looked at them. So they're still wrapped up. I need to check. I'm pretty sure he had told me that he had put the 59 bumpers in there, and I got to check on this rear bumper setup and see what it looks like, if he has new pieces or if we're just using the bumper that came on the car and putting it right back on. I'm not sure, but I really can't put the bumper on until I get that rubber piece. I really want to put that rubber piece back in here. If it doesn't come, I'm going to have to put the bumper on without the rubber piece, but I'd rather put it back on. But I don't know if he ordered it or not. I think he did, but I'm not positive. So, all right, guys, hopefully you're enjoying these videos and they're at least helping some people out. Or if you're maybe on the fence about buying aftermarket trim, I can't say that this goes for every car. You know what I mean? I do a variety of cars. I'm not always working on Impalas. I'm restoring Mustangs. I'm restoring pickup trucks. I mean, it just all depends on what I'm working on. You know, after this is done, and the 59 convertible's done, I have another 59 in the back. It's a hardtop, 2-door hardtop. I got to finish that car. I have my 63 Impala, which I'm doing. So that's 4 Impalas right there. But I also have a 69 428 Mach 1 Mustang back there that I need to finish. I have a 70 Boss 302 Mustang back there. So that's 2 Mustangs I need to do. I actually have a 65 Mustang coupe of my own that I need to do. It's actually a rust-free shell. And I have an original 289 for it with an automatic. I don't think I'm gonna put a stick in it, but I have original power steering setup and everything, but everything needs to be rebuilt. So that's gonna be a car in the future that I'm gonna do for myself. I'm kind of partial. I like the Impalas and I like the old Mustangs. 2 different spectrums. An Impala rides nice and smooth. The Mustang's kind of a tin can. You know what I mean? They're not as nice of a ride or anything like that. But I've always liked old Mustangs, so I kind of have both, you know. So I'm not, like I said, I'm no expert on Impalas. This is not all I do, is just Impalas. But I got a pretty good idea, you know. Once you do so many cars, they all kind of fit together, you know, roughly the same. That's driving me nuts right there, that overspray paint on that trim. I wonder if some lacquer thinner would take that off. But all right, guys, thanks for watching. I will see you guys later.